I I can get that some things you realize and other people don't. And then sometimes I found it like, sometimes I tell them like a little tips, like try to do this. Sometimes it's hard because it's a long road for them maybe to believe in that.
That paper.
It's I can get one. I was exercising my mat today also, starting to do that again.
Yeah.
So nice. And my back also.
Mm-hmm.
I did that. Yeah, but sometimes, you know what? We should actually clean the floors so you don't sneeze so much, I think, if it's because of that.
You get really bad.
That's not good. I was a little bit like that today also. I felt like, oh.
What?
I had a little, what do you call it, snuva?
Maybe it's an allergy.
I had some of that today.
What, a cold?
Yeah, a little bit. I was sneezing and I was sneezing. Now I have to sneeze again.
The tactical application of life being found. I know not where I arrive if I don't simply allow myself the space to be in front of whatever I want to understand fully and naked, in thought, in feelings, to be completely open about whatever's going on, to then realize from within whatever I'm observing must be true to some point, and then after that I can start judging it, but not in the beginning. In the beginning I must be open, accepting, and believing, to then be distrusting and doubting, to see if it still stands when I'm skeptical. So whenever I meet a new person, I'm first very open to whatever they say. And once I've understood what they're saying by accepting it fully, I start asking the questions. If this is true, can this also be true? And find it out with them, or sometimes just by myself. And sometimes they do stand up, and I'm like, oh, it's true. At least it's true to my mind, since I'm only as logical as I am able to be. I'm only as rational as I'm able to be. But sometimes it's not true. You know, sometimes something is wrong. And at those times, I wouldn't call them a liar, necessarily. I would just call them wrong about something that they told me, showed me. You know, I think the difference, because before we were talking about the language that I use, right?
Language today.
Yeah, how I seem to have a knack for telling stories.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's because I make these stories personal.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the difference. I personally state whatever I'm experiencing. I feel this, I think this. This happened to me. I'm trying to understand why it's so different. You see?
Yeah.
You don't?
Yeah, we talked about it before, maybe the psychedelics.
Sure.
And meditation and all of that.
Yeah, but how does it emerge? Right? How does it arrive?
Arrive.
Arrive. This that I can do, how does it arrive?
For another person.
Well, sure, for another person. Why not?
Maybe they also take psychedelics.
No, not why does it happen. How does it arrive when it can happen? Right?
What is the thing was happening with the...
And I think it's because I talk about myself. Or us. You know?
Yeah.
But mostly I would say because I talk about myself. So it's because I don't believe that I know who I am until I looked. Because I believe I change, and I believe everyone changes. So we always need to look into ourselves to get this understanding of who we are right now. I don't believe I am the same person as I was yesterday. I don't believe anyone is the same person as they were yesterday. Because new things, new experiences are happening all the time. And it changes us, it changes the way we think.
Yeah.
Sometimes slightly, sometimes much more. And I believe we come to awareness of that unless we leave openness within for us not knowing who we are and having to find out.
So you feel that you're finding out who you are every day, like who am I today? Who am I today?
I would say all the time, not just every day. All the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
That's interesting, actually. It's like more exciting to have that view, like who am I right now?
Yeah, I guess it could be more exciting too. Yeah.
I felt that. It's kind of exciting. Like who am I right now? What's happening with me? Yeah. Because sure, you develop all the time, and if you are in a state of like, I want to develop faster, then it's happening a lot, quick. You change a lot of stuff, and you develop yourself internally and outernally. It can be very drastic changes, and then you are like, for yourself, you're like, yeah, I'm this person now. I'm manifesting what I want to be in the future. I'm turning into this now. And then you left something behind. And then if other people remember that, then it's like, no. That was just in the past. You can't like judge me for being that person now because I'm doing some changes. And so it can be hard for some people to get it because they have memories of you being in certain ways.
Right. So I always have to relate to that. That they know me.
Yeah.
And I don't. But they do. And because they do and I don't, there's a conflict.
I see.
Yes. But that conflict is resolved because as I come to learn who I am right now, they they do as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it needs to be resolved at every instance. I think that's why we need to talk to each other all the time.
Yeah.
Well, more or less all the time. Sure, we can sit in silence because we don't have to understand each other all the time. But if we do want to understand one another, we have to communicate.
Yeah.
And we can't just stop communicating, right? Can we?
No, we can't.
I mean, sure, we can stop saying words to one another, but we don't only communicate in words. We don't only communicate in words. They're non-verbal signals that we send, which is communication. And sure, some are better at reading them than others, but we can all do it.
Yeah.
Except if you might have trouble reading them, but we can all read them. Especially people in the autistic spectrums can have harder times with those nonverbal signals.
But I read in a book once about, I think I have it here, it's about communication. It was very interesting. And it was a quote that was, you can never not communicate.
Right.
Yeah, because you communicate all the time, because your even silence is a big communication.
Right.
You know, when we talk about something and then suddenly I'm like, I'm saying something. You see clearly what I'm saying, like, oh, what happened there? You're all quiet. Something, you don't know it. Maybe sometimes you know exactly what it is, sometimes you don't know. And if you walk out of the room, that's also communication. And of course, the way that you walk out of the room, if you close the door, it's also everything you do. If you sit there, you talk, it's something. So, yeah, it's all, you say something all the time, even if you, and that I think about that, people who think that they are not good at communicating, maybe it can be something for them to see, like, no, you're sending signals all the time, you're telling things all the time, even if you want it or not.
Yeah.
So, but then it would be better to be more clear about it.
Right.
Because you're good at communicating because everyone do. So then you can be like, oh, I'm good at this because I do it all the time. But then you can be even better of making someone else understand you. Like, so it gets clear. And then talking, of course, is really, really helpful because it can be more clear,
Sure.
And then we talk about different layers of levels of communicating, when you can be better or worse at it. Like couples who communicate a lot is mostly stronger. And what you say about that, I think, is that you talk about your feelings, you're honest and open, and at the same time you're communicating with your eyes, with physical contact and all of that.
Right.
So it's not just words, of course, but you can practice all of that and get better and better on it. But still, you're always communicating. But when you're not so good at it, I think it gets a lot of misunderstandings and maybe a lot of trouble that doesn't have to be there if they were just talking about it and stuff like that. So I think about that book now. I don't remember what it was in it. I just remember this with open questions. Like, if you want someone to talk a lot, you should ask them open questions. It's like a basic skill, yeah. But that book was interesting, but I don't remember it. Then I learned other stuff, but not so much about... I have to wash my hair now. Yeah, not so much about... Yeah, that book was, it was more directed to people who work with people, so to speak. So it was more tips about the conversation you have in the professional conversations, stuff like that. I remember I was sitting reading it on the mountain, in Isingen, this Ramberget. I took a day in the sunshine. I sat in the wood. I was reading.
Yeah.
I thought this is really interesting. But the bad thing is that I don't remember so much. Maybe because I couldn't study so much then. I hadn't all these study techniques and all of that.
Oh.
That's too bad, right?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, because it was very valuable information, and this is like 12, 13 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
But you're only 12 or 13 years old.
You think so? You really think so? I was older when I was younger, I would say. If you have met me then, you would be like, oh, you feel like you're an older woman.
Really?
Yeah.
Would I?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, if it's true, isn't it?
But sometimes, some things I matured. No.
I don't think you're immature at all.
No.
Except for when you are.
Yeah. But some things, I felt very more grown up after my meditation and all of that.
Yeah, I guess meditation does that to you.
Yeah.
But I felt like meditation made me...
Younger also, right?
Right, that's what I want to say. More childish.
Yeah, me too. More playful, more open, more laughing, more joking.
Right.
And more like carefree.
Carefree, yeah.
Like enjoying, like finding what's fun in life.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
Yeah, but it did also make me calmer.
Yeah, of course.
Again, when I think about people in their 80s, 90s,
yeah,
that seem healthy,
mm-hmm.
then I do think of people in their 80s or 90s that are playful.
Yeah, they are actually.
Yeah. That they have, what do you call it? I think it's you talk about that they regressed.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really? They're not necessary so much, but a little bit.
With each other, like a couple when they're with each other, they regress to a very young state.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Even though they still have their appropriate, let's say, age.
Yeah.
When they're just communicating with people normally that they don't know too well, but when they're communicating with their partner, then they regress to a much more young.
Yeah, I've heard that couples who live together like 20, 30 years, they still remember how they were when they first met.
Yeah, they can still be like that.
They can still be like that, yeah. And I heard so many older people, they say like, I look myself in the mirror and I can't believe it. I feel like 20.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. Right. It's just, I don't recognize this person.
Yeah, and I feel that is very beautiful to be able to have that youthful energy.
Yeah, me too.
Even at 80 or 90.
Yeah, me too. And feel even more like you can feel childhood and all of that. You feel joy from your childhood, from your youth, and from all of it. Like, you can pick and choose. Because I feel like nowadays I focus a lot on staying as young as possible, as long as possible, but still getting wiser and all of the good stuff from the olderdomen, but still keeping the energy and be vital and be fresh and all of that as long as possible, because you want to have a good life as long as possible. I think this started to happen when I got a little older, because before I feel like I was a little reckless with life. With my attitude to life nowadays, because I never thought about, how long is my life, how long am I going to be here and stuff like that. I was more like, I'm young, I have all the time in the world, I don't think about anything, I just take my time, I just do whatever I want. And then suddenly it's like, whoops, it's been some years. And then it's like, in 10 years it will be a difference, in 20 years it will be a big difference. Then suddenly my time was like shrinking, and I was like, oh my god, suddenly I felt little. I never before thought about age, thought about anything like that. But then suddenly a small age crisis, you call them that, when you feel like, oh, if I want to do some stuff, I should do them now. Because maybe when I get older, I will be more tired, or, I don't know.
Yeah.
So that's why I was thinking about today. I was like, if I want to do the splits, I should start doing it right now. Because, yes, I've seen photos of people like 70 years old doing the splits.
Yeah.
So, of course, it's possible. But, if it's other stuff that's physical that you want to do, just take the time now. We're still young. And so many people think that I'm so much younger than I am. They don't believe me when I say how old I am. So I have an advantage. And I think that signals that, you can still be young, live like with a young energy and be healthy and all of that, even though you age.
Yeah.
So, for a long time, I was always saying that age is just a number. I didn't thought of it at all. I just thought about how the person was behaving and what energy it had and how the lifestyle and how they choose to, it's not like the norms around when you're 40, you look like this. And we have a certain standard that you can feel like, I think she's about 40 years old, or I think she's about 20. But sometimes it's just like, no, I just saw a picture of a 60-year-old lady and she looked like 30.
Uh-huh.
And, for now we're just talking about the parents.
Wow.
But still, if you have like some older people, they have amazing strength and they can exercise. And a lot of people in Asia, actually, and these blue zones and all of that,
Uh-huh.
they are.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No, this is not good. This is better.
Switch to other hand.
Why?
Because you took that left hand before.
Oh, I see. Yeah, because some people, they live really long and they are healthy and they are like doing their Taichi and kungfu and stuff when they're really old, like all these masters.